So how do you know if something is right for you? Well, on the other side, I gave you 4 questions, and these are questions that I use a lot. Remember I said it doesn't matter, it isn't what you should do, it's what you will do. So how do you know if something is right for you? So these are 4 questions that you can use, and you can answer these all the time about whether it's doing your laundry or managing your email or managing your social media, whatever it is. First question is, does it work? Does it do what you want it to do? Now the second question is, do you like it? I one time had a client, well, I didn't start out being a client. Actually, I was in a movie production studio to work on a project, and the CFO was there. He said, oh, I know what you do. He said, you organize offices. The only thing that I don't like about what I do is that people don't like to have me around because they think I'm judging. You know what? I don't care. If you don't care, I don't care. I don't really care about that stuff either. I really care about you. I care about you accomplishing your work and enjoying your life. And so talking about that stuff is just the way I get to know you. I get to know what you really care about and what your work is and what you want to do. At any rate, he said, my office works. And actually, I looked at it, and it didn't look that disorganized. He had piles, but as I looked at it, it looked like, okay, this is a pile for this movie, and this is a pile for this movie. And, you know, I didn't look at it and say, oh, this is a disorganized office. But he said, I don't like it. He said, I really want a clean desk. But every time I clean my desk off, I can't find anything. Anybody ever had that problem? Yeah. My mother worked in a bank. She worked in the same bank for the same man for 46 years. And it was an awesome bank. It was a privately owned bank in Nebraska, and they won a lot of awards and things like that. But one of the things that he had as a policy, the culture in his company, was that everybody had to clear off their desk when they went home at night. Well, they hated it because it would always take them like 15 minutes the next day to get everything out and get organized again. But you know what the irony was? His office was so bad that it had kind of moved over into the conference room. So whenever they're having a meeting, my mother used to have to go into the conference room and clean it up so that they could have the meeting. And that's not atypical for a leader. Most leaders, most entrepreneurs are not naturally organized people because they're big idea people. They have ideas, they like to start things, they don't like to finish things. And what I would submit to you is that if you are a leader, and you're a leader in your family, do you say to your kids, go clean up your room? And they just look at your office, or the bedside table, or the kitchen counter? If your office is disorganized, it's hurting your leadership. Because people are looking at your office and saying, man, you can't even organize your office. How can you manage a company? So the third question, first is, does it work? Second is, do you like it? The third one is, does it work for the others you care about? How many of you are married to somebody who has a different philosophy about organizing than you do? It's God's sense of humor. When I first got married, my husband, he's in the military, so I thought, oh man, he'd be organized. Wrong, he was a colonel, he had everybody else cleaning up after him. And I thought, this man is going to be the death of me because it's going to be the death of my career. I can't even organize my husband. And then I thought, wait a minute, he doesn't want to be organized. But really, it's really important to figure out how to work with other people. I say to employees when I'm working within companies to help them create a great culture, when you are an employee of a company, what you are managing does not belong to you. It belongs to the organization, and it is your responsibility to organize it in such a way that if something happens to you, others can find it. And it's true in the families as well. It takes some give and take, but we really have to work together. One of the things, there's a new tool that I've just become aware of that was developed by a colleague of mine, Sina Block, and it's called the Time and Space Style Inventory. It is so much fun. It's like Myers-Briggs, Colby. Well, it's the same kind of thing, except it has to do with organization styles. And it is fascinating. So if you're interested in knowing that, I will be happy to give you the information about it. It's fun to take. It would be fun in an office. It would be fun in a family, because it helps you understand how you do it differently than the other person does it. My sister-in-law lives in Nebraska, and my mother was ill, and for 3 years, every other month, I would go and stay for 7 to 10 days in my sister-in-law's house. Well, my sister-in-law is one where you walk into the house, it is perfect. I mean, just perfect. But if you open up the doors, now that's another story. I'm just the opposite. If you walk into my house or my office at any given time, you might look around and say, and they pay her money for organizing? But give me 15 minutes, and it'll be back together again. And that leads me to the fourth question, which is, can you recover quickly? Messes happen. You get sick, somebody leaves, you travel, you get something new, whatever, things happen. But if you have systems in place, you can recover quickly.